Salut à tous, c'est Note sur la chaîne des Ouki Live. On se retrouve pour la partie 4 de Cathy Rain. On s'était laissé après être retourné chez mamie. Donc je vais vous expliquer une petite chose. Je viens d'avoir juste un souci d'enregistrement de VOD. J'ai beaucoup avancé dans le jeu, mais il s'avère que la sauvegarde automatique est antérieure à ma dernière sauvegarde, donc on va reprendre par là. Donc on a le choix. Vous avez vu qu'on était déjà allé à la réserve naturelle, on a croisé Monsieur Propre, on est arrivé chez mamie. Maintenant on revient ici. À l'église, apparemment, le jeu a considéré que j'y suis déjà allé, donc on ira après. Il s'est rien passé du tout. On a juste discuté avec le prêtre qui s'appelle Isaac, et c'est tout. Du coup, qui nous a dit qu'il connaissait Lily Myers. Rien de plus, qu'il était son professeur avant. Donc rien de bien grandiose, vous inquiétez pas, vous avez rien loupé, que c'était 48 heures de VOD passionnante. On va donc à la clinique voir Charles Wade. Ça devrait être assez rapide du coup.
We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing.
Alors du coup cette VOD sera peut-être un peu plus courte et condensée parce que je vais essayer de m'arrêter au même endroit, du coup ça devrait faire à peine une demi-heure. Mais vous allez voir l'essentiel.
By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Gober. Everyone calls me Gober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
So,
Donc raconte-nous ton
what's your
histoire.
story anyway?
My story?
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies. The Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
Parle-nous de ta carrière dans le show business.
So, tell me about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Tell me about
Parle-moi
the
du silence de
Silence of
Lino.
Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all. He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
C'est embêtant. Parle-nous de la
I'm
vessie
not
de Jacob.
sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder. During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during a surprise birthday party of a 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure. I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Natural
Fernet,
bald
peut-être.
killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Typecasting.
C'est le Sean Bean de
Never
Cathy
mind.
Rain. Hein.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
Bim.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Allez, pour mon plus grand plaisir, c'est la deuxième fois que je le fais en 1 heure. Mais première fois pour vous, parle-nous de l'accident.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in 81?
I most certainly do.
What?
On n'est pas prêt pour
Tell
longtemps.
me.
Ça.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
C'était
Open
instructif.
your mind, man.
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still
Ça
walking,
fait
at
un moment
least.
qu'il traîne dehors. Hein.
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam. Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother? What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right, I might do that. I could, but only if I had a really good reason.
Ah,
I don't need to
pas besoin de lui montrer
want to
ça.
smoke, buddy.
Nah, I got stage 2 lung cancer. I'm keeping it under control with a fruitarian diet.
Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah, what about the other two?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay. Do you know what this key opens?
Your heart, mademoiselle?
Oh, brother.
Ah.
Do you know what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Maylin and Little Pig.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy. Do you know anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening.
Bon,
Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty,
Okay,
bye.
rentrons donc dans la clinique. Essayons d'aller voir Charles Wade. Charles. Ah.
No point. I wouldn't even know what room to go to.
Alors attends, il va falloir qu'on consulte la chambre sur laquelle on doit aller sur l'ordinateur.
Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
Try not to strain
Épuise pas
yourself.
trop, hein.
Whatever. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
Tu ne la fais
No,
pas,
you're
nous.
not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow.
Donc nous allons devoir nous en débarrasser donc pour pouvoir regarder l'ordinateur. Goober va encore être du grand
Hey,
aide.
doofus.
Oh, hi!
Fais une performance en
So-
direct, mon gars.
How good an actor are you?
The best! The very best!
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that
Yes,
she
it is.
always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
T'as tout traduit.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Alors je pense qu'elle va aimer Surprise
How
habituelle.
about the usual
La
surprises?
crise d'épilepsie, c'est génial.
Business as usual. I can't believe
Bon,
you
on
guys
va
did
accentuer
all
un peu la
this for me.
crise.
You know, what's this smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts.
Nurse, he's seizing!
Oh shit!
Ah,
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up
hey,
to the poor
Goober,
guy
c'est
later.
notre petit souffre-douleur. Hein. On lui fait faire de ses trucs. Ah. Eh bien, on sait quoi faire. Mille excuses, hein, mais une VOD qui a sauté, je sais quoi faire du coup, donc bon. Et bah foi pour vous, c'est un peu plus rapide. Donc c'est Mendes, Otorgador. Ok. Allons-y, hein. Donc, Wade. Charles Wade. Da. Demande de prise en charge du docteur Friedman, centre médical de San Francisco. Le patient a subi une chirurgie à cœur ouvert réussie et a été transféré dans cet établissement à sa propre demande. Le pronostic initial semble bon et le patient devrait se rétablir complètement d'ici 6 à 8 semaines. Chambre 6B. État stable. C'est bon. Go. Chambre 6B, donc on va rencontrer Charles Wade, la personne que l'on cherche depuis un long moment, le meilleur ami de notre grand-père, qui doit savoir énormément de choses. Voilà, Charles Wade s'efface.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every
Tu
once
fais
in a
fausse
while.
route, vieux crouton.
That's not what this is about. It's personal.
Sounds serious. Perhaps I should ask Claude to produce his gun.
You know, Charles, the person most likely to be harmed by a gun tends to be its owner.
Very true. That's something the Japs who captured me learned the hard way.
Did my grandfather bail you out then too, or was that one of the few times where he didn't save your sorry ass?
Hold on there. Explain
Tu
yourself.
commences à faire tilt,
You're
mon
willing
gars.
to listen to something other than your own voice? I'm stunned. I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
Yes.
You were late.
Merci.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Allez, parle-nous de l'accident de
Do you know
1980.
anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to
Il y a
me.
une partie qui est pas
She's
traduite.
just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the
Il était des
healthcare,
leurs.
but asked me to stay out of everything else.
Est-ce que ça confirmerait ce que
I
dit
did.
Goober?
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been
Ouais.
harder on Brian.
On
more
va aller dans son
strict.
sens. Hein.
I wouldn't mind teaching my old man some manners myself, wherever he is.
Yes, of course. You must understand this better than anyone. People like your father simply cannot grasp how far their bad influence spreads. So our families started drifting apart. Eventually, my company grew much too
Donc on en
large
revient au
for
même
such
point,
a
parce que
town.
tout à l'heure j'avais choisi la
We moved
réponse.
on.
Il n'y a pas grand-chose de
Not
plus.
long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Parle-nous de Lily
You
Myers.
bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Donc c'est finalement Charles Wade n'a plus ses peintures. Parle-nous de Coquille, petit zizi.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
On en sait plus sur Coquille. Donc, petite quéquette, je suppose. Jimmy Cochran. Pas très aimé hein, de Charles Wade.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
Allez, on lui dit la vérité
I
sur
do.
notre mère.
My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a
Bizarre.
coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be
Voilà,
great.
donc là maintenant,
Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious. What's your
on sait
interest
maintenant
in
que
the
l'on
painting?
peut aller
I've learned that my
la
grandfather
police.
went to sue and asked
Il
to
va nous
see
aider.
them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Donc là, on sait maintenant qu'on va pouvoir aller voir le
What
shérif.
can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Bon, ici, il n'y a pas grand-chose à montrer.
Do you
la photo.
recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran. Taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess.
Ouais,
They can grow terribly large
peu
around
terre
these
à terre
parts.
comme réponse.
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
Bon, on a tout ce qu'il faut.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Alors, du coup, on va pouvoir re-sauvegarder au jour 2. Je m'étais arrêté ici dans l'ancienne VOD, mais elle faisait 48 minutes, on a gagné 20 minutes, donc on va continuer un petit peu. Pour rappel, hein, du coup, avant ça, j'étais allé à l'église, où Isaac nous apprend pas grand-chose, hein, le prêtre nous apprend pas grand-chose. On veut pas lui montrer la photo des 3 lumières, parce qu'on veut en savoir plus sur l'église avant, donc du coup, vous n'avez rien raté. Hein. Donc on s'en va. On n'a plus rien à faire ici. Alors, tout à l'heure en faisant la tête, j'ai découvert un truc, donc on va y aller. On va retourner à la réserve naturelle, là où on a vu le monsieur propre angoissant.
Hello? Creepy bald guy. Guess no one's home.
Donc il n'y a personne. La fleur est là.
It's endangered. I'm not gonna take it without a really good reason.
La fleur a l'air même dans
That
l'autre
wasn't
sens.
here before.
C'est vrai qu'elle était à gauche, la fleur. Mais peut-être pas. Sur la
What's
photo,
this?
mais oui, c'est inversé. Donc on a ramassé un dessin. L'homme rouge.
A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy.
L'homme rouge ressemble énormément à Monsieur Propre. Hein. Faut se le cacher. Hein. On sort. Petite musique d'angoisse. Sauf qu'on se souvient d'une chose. Qui est-ce qui faisait des dessins que l'on a croisés? Je viens d'avoir l'illumination. C'est le frère de Lily Myers qui dessinait. Donc, dessin déchiré, est-ce que il n'y avait pas un dessin déchiré quand on était allé les voir? Je ne me souviens plus.
It's totally overflow. Somebody around here is a chain smoker.
Normalement, on est potes avec elle. Hein.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
Là, Ok. Ah.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Bon. On va lui parler un peu à Sue, peut-être.
I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
Donc, connais-tu maintenant Jimmy Cox?
I don't need to ask her about that.
Attends, on s'en fout.
Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
C'est le cas.
I don't need to ask her about that.
Bon, t'as pas grand-chose à nous dire.
No reason to show her that.
D'accord.
Do you know anything about this flower?
Sure. Smoked it a few times back in the day, before it was endangered and all.
Yeah? What was it like?
Similar to pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched the stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right.
Ok.
Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Oh.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was a nighttime scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating above the lake. There was a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface trying to touch them. The forest in the background was on fire, making the sky purple and red. There were probably other details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it.
Huh.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat.
On va utiliser le dessin avec les autres. Il semblerait qu'il y ait des morceaux.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange
voilà.
red man. I need to talk to him about this.
Donc, Monsieur Propre.
Must be Lily. She seems very happy looking up at the red man. Is this how Nathan still sees himself?
Et Nathan.
As a little boy?
Donc Nathan, Lily et l'homme rouge. Est-ce qu'on monte le dessin à... On peut pas le prendre. Non. On se casse. Ah non, devrait parler à Sue. Oui. C'est encore nous.
Oh,
Oui. Referme, ouvre. Nickel. J'ai envie de te parler de l'homme rouge, moi.
I had a few...
shoot.
Do you know who the red man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The red man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the red man hasn't changed in 30 years.
The red man actually exists. I met him in the forest.
What? That's crazy talk.
Ah,
Stop kidding
merde.
around. I am not in the mood.
On a tenté d'être
I
honnête.
think I'm
Hein.
gonna...
Sure
On pourra pas me le reprocher. Hein. Bon, est-ce que du coup Nathan est retourné par là? Non. Bon. On n'a pas 36 choix. On sait qu'on va devoir aller voir le shérif. Normalement, Charles Wade l'a appelé. Raconte-nous tout.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
Allez, parle-nous de Jimmy Cochran.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
D'accord.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned
Voilà.
in about that. Lenny,
Yes, boss.
get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86.
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
Bon. 11 mars 1986, à 1h12 du matin, l'alarme de la propriété des Wade a été activée. La maison est actuellement vide et les voisins ont contacté les forces de l'ordre. Le même jour, à 2h04, une heure après, les officiers de police sont arrivés sur place et on peut observer plusieurs fenêtres brisées. Une fouille du domaine et de ses environs ne révèle aucune trace. Ils ont mis une heure pour arriver, hein, quasiment les types. Un quart d'heure après, un témoin unique identifié comme Franklin Goldfarb déclare avoir vu plusieurs cambrioleurs quitter la scène du crime. Le lendemain midi... C'est ça, hein, le lendemain midi, oui. Le lendemain midi, un mois après, le 12 avril, Charles Wade arrive à Conway Springs pour faire une déclaration officielle. Après avoir examiné la maison, il déclare que des peintures d'une valeur totale de 15 000 $ ont été volées. D'accord, donc quelqu'un, un mois avant, avait été regarder un petit peu à la maison. Elle était vide, la maison. Le 26 avril, donc 14 jours plus tard, 2 semaines plus tard, les peintures en question n'ont pour l'instant fait surface dans aucun des cercles connus de recel de biens volés. Enquête clôturée en raison du manque de pistes.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary.
Ok. Je pense que l'on va se laisser là. 35 minutes, c'est pas mal. Ça fait court. Mais au moins, on est sur une VOD nette, sans bavure. Du coup, je vous dis merci à tous. On a du coup pas mal avancé. Pardon pour ce bug de VOD. On se retrouve du coup la prochaine fois pour la partie 5 où on va en savoir plus du coup sur l'homme en rouge, je suppose, avec le shérif peut-être. Et sur le vol des tableaux. Je vous dis à bientôt. Salut tout le monde.